Tell me a little bit about, like give me some spoilers about that interview, right? So tell me, I guess, what are you trying to achieve? Like, going to Mega being interviewed. What does that mean to you? And what does that
Yep.
mean to the business?
So we basically launched our new business. Marilyn was a pharmacist, and we owned a pharmacy for 14 years, which we just sold. So
Yeah.
now we're into private money lending for real estate investors. So we're just basically launching this business, and with JT's help,
Getting branded.
there's 90% of the audience are all real estate investors. So it's a good spot to say, hey, we've got money for you, So
yeah, that's so exciting. That's very, very exciting. And I mean, and that's and it hits, like you just said, it hits the nerve of a lot of entrepreneurs that don't know what to do. Or they either don't know what to do with their money, or they are actively looking for like those investment opportunities. So that is really, really good. The reason why I ask you is because the way that you present yourself, like, the suit that we're going to design and everything, it would have everything to do with how you want to be perceived and how you want for people to see you. And I don't know if this is a new concept, but like that's the reason why I wanted to walk you through it, is because I'm a very strong advocate for this philosophy where you get to have a control over the way that you are perceived.
Yes.
So you can control it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, off the bat, like, what are the 3 attributes that you want for people to associate you when they see you for the first time on stage?
So one thing that we've learned from being with JT is your brand is what other people are saying about you when you're not in the room, right? Was that one of the things that Reggie was talking about?
Yeah.
So one thing that I know people are saying about us because of it's like we have a new life. It's like we have a new life. We're retired, and people would refer to us as living the lifestyles of the rich and famous. There was a show back in the 90s, 80s called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous with Robin Leach. And so a lot of people kind of, they see us like that now because, we sold our pharmacy, and they see us as we used to take a lot of vacations. Now we're kind of like, instead of vacations, we're focusing on business. So if we do travel, it's business related, but we are still perceived as lifestyles of the rich and famous, basically.
So basically, I want to look powerful. I want to be stylish, but I'm kind of conservative also. But I like style. I don't like. I have 2 black suits. So one of them has kind of stripes. The other one's solid. So I don't need that.
The thing is too, we want to be reinvented.
Yeah.
We're reinventing ourselves. So it's like, we always talk about like the old Marilyn and Peter, and now we got the new Marilyn and Peter. So it's kind of nice to kind of show the world that we're new.
So I want to be stylish also, right?
Yeah.
Not boring, but
Yeah. So we're gonna Peter, we're gonna get to the actual suit in a second. So right now we're just really talking about the mindset behind it first. And then we'll talk about the actual colors or whatever it is. Because I think it's important for me to understand, because that's how I am going to be able to give you any sort of advice. So right now, Marilyn, you're doing a great job. So you talked about the old Marilyn and the new Marilyn and Peter. So what do you mean by reinvented? So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So like I worked as a pharmacist all these years, and I opened my own business because I wanted to create a job that gave us a good lifestyle, but, going to school and becoming a pharmacist is kind of like how I was brought up. You have to have a job. You have to get a good career. And I thought I had it made, that I was going to be wealthy, but basically I just worked for money.
Yeah.
And then when I became like a workaholic, because the more I worked, the more money I made. So I enjoyed it and I kept working, but then I had kids and we built a house and everything kind of crashed because it was hard to have balance, obviously, but we still had to keep going because we kind of got ourselves into it with the big house and kids. So, I worked almost 24/7. And when we opened up a pharmacy, we thought, okay, this will be a great great way to make my hours more normal, like 9 to 5. I don't have to work weekends and holidays. I don't have to work all these crazy hours. But then when we opened up the business, I became the workaholic again because I did it all. And then I got sick and everything kind of crashed because the business was all me. Peter worked with me and he kind of handled the business part of it. I was just taking care of the pharmacy. So it was like he was more like my support, but it was all on me. And so when I got sick and nobody could fill in and run it like I could, the business went down. And then I couldn't go back and we had to sell it. So now I've retired and instead of, I'm not feeling sorry for myself. And I'm like, even though it was a terrible, very difficult time, it's traumatic. Like I'm better now. I had surgery. Like eventually they found out I had a lump in my breast and I had surgery for breast cancer. But from that point on, I got better. And so I've been, dedicated to taking care of myself better because I didn't take care of myself as well before. Sure. And so we sold the pharmacy, but before we sold the pharmacy, we had to keep it going to be able to sell it. And we used we had a lot of savings that we used to put into the business to keep it open. But now that we finally sold it in July, and the new owner, because things had went down, he didn't pay us anything for the business, but he's got a plan for the next 3 years that we're going to have an earn out every year for 3 years. And it's going to be a great deal. And we don't have to work anymore. I retired and now I can just focus on, taking care of myself, my health, our kids. And he didn't want to just retire. We wanted, like, Peter's 61, I'm 55. And we want to keep going. We enjoyed our life helping people and going to work every day and having a purpose. So now it was time to find that new purpose. We love people. We love connecting with people and we love helping people. So we went from focusing on healthcare to financial health. So now we're focusing on helping people with their financial health, which is what we're doing for ourselves too, because the whole time I ran the pharmacy, I didn't think about financial anything. I was just the pharmacist taking care of healthcare, and we didn't know how to run a business, And so if we had a coach back then and a mentor, we probably could have scaled the business and done a lot better and had people working. So I didn't have to have it all on me, So we didn't know how to manage financial like we should have. Now we're learning with our new coach, we're learning how to make our money work for us rather than us working for money. And we know that this is a common thing with so many people. Like the world that we were in Windsor, we're surrounded with people who were just like us. And so we stepped out of that box and we took a big risk and took massive action. And it's all because of our coach and watching what Grant was doing. And we thought we were going to buy another house when we downsized. And after watching Grant, we realized we don't have to buy a house. We can just rent and use the money from the sale to invest and get our money to work for us to help give us a chance to reestablish ourselves. So that's what we've done. So it's been a lot of reinvention, like personal growth. We've been doing a lot of like meditating and personal growth, and we became very spiritual and, just to kind of like make sense of it all and realize, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. So we know that this was our journey and lessons learned and everything happened for a reason. And I'm grateful because now I feel like I'm going to do something with my life that will make me really happy. And I like to be in a happy environment. In healthcare, it's very depressing and it's hard and very stressful. and everybody's sick and people are dying and have cancer. And, and I was a great pharmacist. People loved me. And that was the good part. But then I had my heart in it too much. Like I cared about people too much. Other pharmacists, they can work and kind of just stay, on autopilot and just do their job and follow by the book. And me, I was just too connected to people and to do everything. So now we're using our strengths, what makes us happy and connected, and we're connecting with this whole world, the real estate, and we love going to these events and being around people that have this kind of mindset.
Yeah. I think, look, can I tell you something? Because obviously, like you told me so many private things that I just want you to tell you that it is incredible that you went through this journey and you still the health, the wealth, like the business. So thank you so much for opening up and letting me know all of this. And it's so beautiful. And I think the one thing that I can take away from this, there's a few things. The one thing that I can see is that, like you were saying before, like there's a distinct difference between the Peter and Marilyn before and the Peter and Marilyn after. And one of the reasons is that it's like that you're going through that journey and now you're stepping up into like a different platform. So like I love that. That. And then going back to Peter, I think, and both of you really, but going back to Peter, like I think the moment that you present yourself to the room and to the world, I feel like there's a way for you to show a little bit of this as well, like in showing a little bit of that transformational kind of image where you kind of like showing people that you did it and you want them to do it too. So it's almost like, look at me, I'm doing it right now. I can do that for you as well. I don't know if I'm on that.
Yeah. No, that's good.
It's very good.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So now that we worked on that, like what are the three? So what are the three attributes? Do you want to leave the same attributes that you just gave me before? So what are these three attributes now?
Well, you could even tell them who you look up to, like say Jordan, like Wolf of Wall
Jordan
Street,
Belfort,
or
Jordan
I'm
Belfort.
not saying that. No, like Donald Trump. Who do you like to emulate?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like
in
terms,
even a character from a movie, like you like to emulate.
Like I like the movie Wall Street.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Douglas. Like
so very powerful. I would say powerful, in control.
Yeah,
confidence. Those attributes that will relate to your persona being on stage. It would have to. It's almost would have to come out as. I guess like close enough to what JT does. That's a little bit more of a, you listen to me because that's how you should do it. Versus.
I see, Jay. Yeah, versus what?
Versus, come and talk to me and let me be open and let me show you the way. So let me show you the way. It can be powerful, but powerful, it's not the first thing.
Yeah.
So
second choice is better.
So like whenever you talk, like for example, Michael Douglas in Wall Street, that is like you listen to me because that's how you do things, and that's a great way to do it, right? So even myself, sometimes I'm recognizing myself in that. When I don't find the person that has a clear pathway, I would be like, listen to me, that's how you do it, right? But then if you want that welcoming factor in, so, like, let me show you the way, like as a message, then you can be powerful, but not in a harsh way. And the other thing that I haven't heard from you is trustworthiness. I haven't heard that.
That's
so, like trustworthiness, let me show you the way. They're really encapsulated by like a specific style and set of colors and all of that. So, and it can actually will fall into that more conservative path. right? So my suggestion for that would be, now that we're talking like a little bit more specifically about your outfit, I would say conservative colors, yeah, but with a more modern spin. So the color can be conservative. So like you can still like look at the charcoal, the navies and all of that. But then, Marilyn, for like the new old me, new me, the only way to show that new part of you, it will be, I think, a spin of a little bit more of a modern feel to the fabric per se, right? And usually modern fabrics, they will have like a little bit of interest in the fabric per se, instead of being just like a block color. They will have some sort of texture or some sort of design to it that makes it a little bit more modern. So that will be my take on what you just said. Like, now to show you what I mean, I might grab a couple of fabrics. And those ones you'll be able to see online. As you can see, I brought like a couple of books there. The one to start from, like to give you the idea of it, is probably, and I mean, I can literally flip it and like flip it through, but I just don't know like on this camera how well you see it. But you see like this one. Yeah. But this one, for example, is a very good example where, there's a little bit of pattern in it. Like there's a little bit of interest to the fabric per se. But then when you're going to be on stage, it's just going to be a dark blue suit.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like that's what I mean by the modern, like a modern take on it. So whenever you're on conversational distance, like I'll put it very close to the camera, but whenever this is something that you notice at an arm length. So whenever you're speaking to somebody like arm's length, they'll be able to see the pattern. But whenever you're on stage, I'm fairly confident they will just see like a blue suit.
Yeah.
So, like, and obviously, like I say, I'm fairly confident because it might come up like, on stage or like a little bit, but definitely it won't come out as strong as, I don't know, like I'm just going to pull out like a much stronger pattern that you see like a stripe. It won't come up as much as this.
Yeah.
So it will be very subtle.
Yeah.
So that's a very good example. So like this one specifically, these specific fabrics from Italy. I didn't tell you any backstory on this, but like I went to Italy like 3 years ago when I started. I'm on the 4th year of business right now. And basically my mission was to try and find, basically like a more accessible price for like Italian craftsmanship. And they gave me this love for like the Italian craftsmanship. So that's why instead of, selling $10,000 suits that are only for the top 1% in the world, I wanted to expand the radius and give that chance to more people. So that's why from 10,000, we go down to 4, or from 8,000, we go down to 2 or something like this. So I think Brent Friendly, he says a 5-star suit to a 2-star price. That's what he says to me.
Yeah.
But that's the idea, right? Because I'm cutting all the middle, like in the service, right? Like it's basically cut out. So you have the access, you access the price that like it's almost like a cost price, right?
Yeah.
That's a cool thing about it. But anyways, so these guys that I'm showing you the fabric of right now on the 3rd generation, it's still a family-owned business. All they do is fabrics. They don't do anything else. Like they don't do suits. They don't do anything. So I go and outsource specifically the fabric and I send it to then suit makeup. So that's, I don't know, have you jumped on the link? Can you see it? Can you open it and you see it?
Yeah.
So that's a very good example, I think, of a more modern spin or what you're talking about. So a fabric like this will work perfectly as a suit, But then the cool thing about it is that you can definitely wear this as a jacket as well.
Right.
So, as a coat, that's how you call it, like a sports jacket. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, so you can wear as a coat, like, that you wear with jeans or chinos or stuff like that. So even during the conference, you'll be able to probably wear this as a full suit when you go on stage. And then the other days you can chuck it on to whatever you're wearing.
Okay.
So, that's a good idea behind it.
Yeah.
So you got things like that. You got things like...
This is your first year, right? You haven't been to a mega success in the past, eh?
No, this is my first time.
I'm just wondering if all the men, especially the insiders, that they have to just wear suits, or can they wear a sports jacket with, with a different style pants, or is it all suits,
So I'm dressing a lot of the insiders. They're going to mega, from Australia. And all I can tell you is my personal experience. I can't tell you what people from America are doing, but JT apparently said there's about 30% coming from Australia. So the people that I'm dressing, right? So to all of the people that are coming from Australia, what I'm doing, it's a minimum of 2 suits. So I do 2 suits because then day 1, they went the full suit. Day 2, suit number 2. Day 3, they could do a combo, of pants from one day to the jacket to the other day. Day number 4, they'll do the opposite, pants of the suit number 2 with jacket number 1. And then day 5, I also add to the package an extra pair of trousers. So to break it up, and then that's your 5 days taken care of. With me specifically, you don't have to do the whole thing. You can do just the one suit. But in general, to all of the people that are going to Mega, everyone, nobody excluded, my suggestion and my advice, it is 2 suits, and then a pair of trousers for the last day. And insiders specifically, I don't know if you know about this, but you're gonna go to a black party. So in the 5 days, you're gonna go to a black party. So that's the other thing that I do with all of the insiders. We're doing a black suit. So on average, everybody that's going to Mega, they're doing 2 suits and shirts and trousers with me. But then the insiders specifically would do an extra suit, like a black one, right?
Okay.
But you did tell me that you got your black one sorted because you told me that you got 2. So that's good. And plus you got the tuxedo. I think I'm imagining that one is the Tom Ford is a black one.